right, so here you see that you have, these are all the condensed notes for chapter 3 so far that we have. Everything's on there, formulas, midpoint, distance, angle, addition, postulate, the angles that we have been working on now. On the second page, you have all your area, perimeter. All right, here we go. Let's review what we've been doing. On that first one, if I told you that angle 3 is 135, I want you to find all the other angles. And how do you know that number 1's 135? What's the rule that says you can do that? Yes, what do we call those angles? Vertical angles are congruent. Okay, Annabelle, give me another one. How did you know that 4 was 45? What's the rule that says that that's true? So you want to get used to your definition word. So on your paper, which definition word says that you can do that? Very good. Supplementary angles add up to 180. And so on the front side, one of the ones that we had starred would be angle bisector, because that's one that is free information that we can always use if an angle is being bisected. And then we put angle 1 and put angle 2 in there, and we just made a thing that said angle 1 equals angle 2, so that we know that we could always use that for an angle bisector. We also put a star on these important angles: vertical angles, complementary angles, and supplementary angles. Those ones that we'll be using all the time. Okay, give me one. For number 2, please, Brandon. Sorry, these ones? What do we call those equal angles? Vertical angles. Very good. I'm always going to ask you what, we got to get used to using those names, okay? All right, so let's look at this. And you know where you're looking in your notes on page 2. These are the new angles that we've had. It says chapter 2 on the second page. This is where chapter 2 starts, halfway down the page. And those should be right in the front of your book right now, Brandon. We're looking at corresponding angles, alternate exterior angles, alternate interior angles, and consecutive interior angles. I want to know what the corresponding angle is to angle 1. What's the corresponding angle to angle 1? Angle 5. So if I look at the first, that's like having 2 of these together, right? Here's these intersecting lines right here. We're just practicing, Boston. You don't really have to write anything down. But here's intersecting lines right here, right? And that's what this is. Look, that's an intersecting, and then you got another intersecting one. So if I want to see corresponding quickly, look at the first set. Where is 1? 1 is in the top right-hand corner. That means on the second set, what's in the top right-hand corner? 5. That's how you see corresponding angles easily, is look at the first set, top right, top right. All right. I want to know what a alternating interior angle is to angle 3. What is the alternating interior angle that goes with angle 3? 5. They're alternating, and they're on the inside of the parallel lines. That's what it means by interior. Very good. I want to know what the consecutive interior angle to 5 is. Consecutive interior angle to 5, Annabelle. Correct. 5 and 4 go together for consecutive interior. All right. I want to know what the alternating exterior angle to 8. Alternating exterior angle is to 8. 2 and 8 are alternating and on the outside. So the last thing that we have to say today is that if I look in my notes, we didn't follow through with the rest of this yet. I just wanted to get used to the names of them. Look what it says. It says that if I have a pair of corresponding angles, 1 and 2, what are they? They are equal to each other. So if I know that angle 1 is 50, how much is angle 2 going to be? 50. They're equal to each other. All of these angles, alternating exterior angles, are also equal to each other. Alternating interior angles are equal to each other. The only one that's different is the consecutive interior angles. They're not equal to each other. What are consecutive interior angles? They're not equal to each other like the rest of them. Go ahead. They're supplementary angles because if I add up those consecutive interiors, they equal 180. That's the only one that's different. When they're on the same side, they're like supplements. I can add them up and it equals 180. So on your practice worksheet right here, let's go to another set. Let's go down here. If I told you that angle 1 was 120, you should be able to fill in all of the angles through 8. Let's start with this first. What other angle could I say was 120? And I want to know what the rule is that you're using, and then you're going to fill in the rest of them. Huh? Okay, I agree that 5 is 120. What are those angles 1 and 5 called? Oh, yeah. What are they called? They're corresponding angles. Okay, fill in the rest of the angles. You can do this. Okay, Annabelle, tell me somewhere to start, and I want to know which angles that you're using. 2 is 60 because it's supplementary. Okay, give me another one, Boston, and tell me the rule. Because of what rule? Vertical angles are congruent. Okay, Brandon, give me another one. So Annabelle said 60 plus 120 would be 180. That's a supplement. So she said angle 2 is 60. Boston said that angle 1 and 3 were congruent because they are vertical angles and vertical angles equal each other. And by what rule? You could say vertical angles are equal, and you can also say that 120 and 60 is a supplement. So there's more than one rule that you can use to tell me. Okay, now down bottom, I helped you get started by showing you Boston told us that corresponding angles. Once you get one angle down there, Boston, give me another one. By what rule? There's multiple answers you can give me here. Yep, supplementary angles. Are you talking about 60 and 120? Yep. All right. So another one. Keep going. Because. Very good. You can use corresponding. You could use alternating exterior. You could use vertical. Again, it's wide open on how you want to tell me. Okay, good. Last one is 60. We know that. All right. So that's what today is actually about. Let's fill in our notes and then get started because you know you always have algebra with it, right? It's so easy to do those rules, but then we put some algebra in it. Okay, here we go. So this is all exactly what we just did. The only thing that would be different on this front page would be the fact that when you have a transversal, that's cutting parallel lines. Remember that parallel lines, how do we know that these are parallel to each other? What in the picture tells us that they're parallel? No, the right angle, yes, I would agree with the box right there. But what tells us in the picture that these, huh? That all of these lines are parallel. How would we know that all of these lines are parallel? What's in the picture that tells us that? No, there's a symbol that's there. They're equal. There's a symbol that's there. It's right here. Look at the triangles on the lines. Every time you see triangles, they're telling you that those lines are parallel to each other. So if they don't have the triangles on there, you can't say that angles are congruent. You can still call them alternating exterior, but you can't actually say they're congruent. Today, they're all going to have they're all going to have those little triangles on them. If you look back at 3.1, that's one of the things we talked about parallel lines. They would tell us that by using that symbol. Okay, so we got to be on the lookout for that. So if I have a transversal that is cutting two parallel lines, it makes it perpendicular. All right, here we go. I mean, we just did this. We just did this. You could actually fill out this whole thing by yourself on example 1. Given that the measure of angle 5 is 65, the first thing I would do is I'd put it in there. Always put it in your picture so you're not tricked by what's going on here. Fill out the rest of them. If angle 5 is 65, find the rest of them. So you're looking for things like vertical angles. You're looking for supplements. And 8 would be an angle. What kind of angle is 5 and 8? What are... No, they're corresponding because they're in the same position. So we know that corresponding angles are, what are they? They're congruent to each other. So how much is angle 8? That's how you can get an angle up there, by using corresponding angles. So we know 8 is 65 degrees. And can you tell me what those are called? Just have your notes open. I want to know why angle 6 is congruent to angle 5. Why are they both 65? Boston, what's the name of them? Vertical angles. They're across from each other. Okay, Annabelle. No, Annabelle, did you give me any yet? Tell me an angle on here, Annabelle. Why is 7 115? 2 is supplementary to 6. Yes, so they would add up to 180. Okay, so 7 is 115. Boston, last one's yours. Yeah. And can you give me a rule into what angle you're using as to why it's 115? Is there a vertical angle here? No. That's okay. Just look at the picture and try to figure out why would number 9 be 115. There's 2 rules I can see right now that I could use, 2 different rules. I could use supplementary because it's on a straight line. There's one more. Exactly. They're alternating on both sides, and they're on the outside of the parallel lines. Alternating exterior angles are congruent. Very good. All right, next one. Classifying leaves. Some plants are classified by the arrangement of their veins. Notice the veins. What are they doing? Whoops. Notice the veins. They're alternating on both sides of that. In the diagram of the leaf, J is parallel to K. So I could put arrows on these like this. If I had to put them on it myself, that's what it would look like to say they're parallel. Put the little arrows on it. What is the measure of angle 1? I want you to think about it for a second. Use your notes. How'd you know it was 60? I want a rule from the notes. How do I know that angle 1 is 60? They're on the same side on the inside. They're consecutive interior. They're supplements. They're not equal to each other like all the other ones. They are supplements. They're consecutive interior angles. That's the rule that says I can say it's 60. I can't say supplement. I actually have to use consecutive interior here like Boston said. Yeah, you just put 60 like that. It just says, what is the measure of angle 1? You could write consecutive interior angles if you wanted to be reminded when you look back at your notes. Angle 120 plus angle 60 equals 180 because that's what the consecutive interior angle says. If I look down my paper, we put stars on, not down here. Consecutive interior says that one angle plus another angle, that a consecutive interior equal 180. Okay, here we go. Example 3, use the properties of parallel lines. Use the property of parallel lines to find the value of x. So this was the biggest thing in the test. The biggest thing was finding an equation. A relationship, that's what I keep making you say what the names of the angles are. Are they equal? Are they equal to 180? Because you need that knowledge to write equations and solve algebra. Find x. I need to find out what x is. So I need to find something here. And it's kind of weird that they put something in here. It throws you off at first. So what are you thinking about? What they put in the picture? Why they put it there? Oh, I think I know why. Boston. Yep, so we do want to use that 125 somehow, don't we? It's not really in the right place to use it right now, is it? Is there something I could do with it? How can I get the 125 down where the x is? I need it down there.
So the opposite of 4.
So can you tell me what rule says that 4 would also be 125? What rule says that that would be true or not? They're corresponding angles. That's why they put the number 4 in there. They're like, hey, get that down here. So I'm going to go like this and put that 4 as 125 degrees. And that was because of corresponding angles. That's why they put the number 4 there. They wanted you to bring that 125 down. Now what? So I need an equation. I need something to set up. So are these 2 angles equal to each other? I like that you're using both of them and that used an equal sign. We need to find a relationship that would make a true statement. If it was a vertical angle, I could do that. If that angle was over here, then I could set them equal to each other. What kind of angles are those 2 angles? So in your notes, you should put a star on these ones. Vertical angles, complementary angles, supplementary angles. because these are all things that have numbers that equal something or they equal each other. I would put a star on those three right there because we're going to use those a lot. Vertical angles, complementary angles, supplementary angles, right? But we want to find a relationship. What are they equal to? Tell me the rule then. Brandon says they're equal to 180. What kind of angles are they then? They're supplementary angles. Are they on a straight line? Right? So I could say angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180. That would be angle 1 is 125 plus the second angle, which is x plus 15. That is supplementary angles. Very good.
That'll be the answer.
No, you got to solve for x. Write this down. There's the relationship that I keep talking about, trying to find that equation. They're on a straight line, so we added them up and set them equal to 180. Solve for x. Well, tell me how to start simplifying this equation. What do I do? I can, yes. And now what? So you shifted the 15 over to the right. Now you want to shift the 125 to the other side. You could have also added up 125 and 15 and then shifted it to the right. But again, I like students to do their algebra however they're thinking about it. And if they're doing it correctly, then I'm good with how you're doing it. I'm going to check my answer now to see if it's true. Let's check the answer and see if it's true. I'm going to put 40 in here for x. How much would that be? X plus 15. 60. That can't be true. How much is 40 plus 15? And then 55 plus 125, does that equal 180?
I did get it.
Good job.